Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at St. Jacobs. This is a bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout by Ellicottville Brewing Company, and it comes in at 9% ABV. Check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you like what you see, hit that like button, subscribe, comment below. Today we are going to be looking at St. Jacobs. This is a bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout by Ellicottville Brewing Company. Now I like Ellicottville Brewing Company. I'm gonna mispronounce their name for some reason. I always get hung up on it. And I have reviewed other stuff by them, and it's been really, really good so far. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they made a maple blueberry bourbon barrel ale a while ago, and it was epic. So yesterday I was driving down from upstate, and I was actually in Monticello, and they had I don't know if it was called Beer City or something like that, and I stopped. And this was a stout that I had not seen before. Now, one can was $6, which I don't think is terrible. $24, $25 for a 4-pack is a little pricey, but it's not crazy. So this says that it is brewed and packaged in Little Valley, New York, Ellicottville, New York, and it is, it is otherwise really, really sort of limited on what it's giving you as far as tasting notes go. What's interesting is that the artwork on this can does sort of play into that saint aspect of it. You see sort of like religious stained glass, but it's everything that you need to actually make a barrel-aged stout done in stained glass, which I think is pretty cool. So, can art, right off the bat, they're killing it. Let's crack this open. I have to tell you, I was really excited to see this because I like Ellicottville, and I think their brewing company has really hit it out of the park with a few different things that I've tried over the last couple of years. So once I saw a stout, which I hadn't seen before, had to have it. I'm gonna use my snifter glass, and there was just a little crumb there. Let me get that out. Whoops. And I cleaned these, by the way, but on glasses and on camera, there's always a fingerprint or something like that. So let's give it a pour. And this is actually pouring a little less viscous than I thought. Also a little more carbonation than I thought. Pouring sort of a dark brown, almost black. Good amount of carbonation. I can actually hear the carbonation and just about a pinky nail worth of head. Oh, and the bar is filled with that really nice sort of aroma of roastiness that comes with a stout. Nothing else yet, but again, I haven't put my nose to the glass, so let's check the nose. This smells remarkably like a Bourbon County. Those deep chocolate notes of the stout are there and obvious. And while I'm at it, you're getting a good aroma of bourbon. Now this, according to what they say online, has been aged for 2 years in some form of bourbon barrel. I don't know what. They did not name what bourbon it was, so I couldn't do a tasting outright. But I'll tell you, based on the nose right now, it's chocolate, there's some of that dark fruit in there, the roastiness of the stout, and you're definitely getting the bourbon. So the nose is killer. In fact, if I compare this to my, gold standard of barrel-aged stouts, which is, of course, Goose Island, this is knocking it out of the park already. All right, let's give it a taste. And I've been dying for this since I saw it yesterday, so. Okay, so chocolate up front, some oakiness as it goes down, beautiful flavor of bourbon that just coats the mouth. I wish this were a little thicker. The mouthfeel is a little thin, and I think the carbonation is a little higher than it needs to be. But again, I have to always clarify this. Like, we look at heavy duty stouts on this channel. So sometimes a stout that most people would sit there and go, wow, that's like, incredibly heavy. I drink sort of as though they're not as thick as they really are. For an average everyday non-stout drinker, particularly non-barrel-aged stout drinker, this is going to be great. This is going to be a good sort of chewy stout that you can really sink your teeth into. Compared to Bourbon County, if Bourbon County is 10 out of 10, I would say this is like 80% of a Bourbon County. I will say this, the aftertaste is of a very nice, well-aged bourbon. In fact, the aftertaste is phenomenal. Yeah, again, chocolate up front, bourbon as it goes down, some little bit of roastiness on the back end. Maybe I'm a little too harsh on the carbonation, because as the carbonation goes down, it sort of opens up that bourbon mouth aftertaste that just sticks there. It's definitely not as heavy as a Bourbon County. In fact, I'm thinking, like, if I wanted to have a barrel-aged stout and I didn't want to spend, let's say, $16 for a bottle, this is an excellent beer to purchase. And like I said yesterday, price tag is still on it. I got it for $5.99. And I have to tell you something, I only bought one and I regret it now. My only complaint, like I said, the mouthfeel. I'm so used to sort of the thick syrupiness of, let's say, a Bourbon County or an Equilibrium Stout, that to me the mouthfeel is a little bit thin, but flavor-wise, this knocks it out of the park. It's almost the reaction, or I'm having the reaction to this that I had to Magic Drip. Hold on. Yeah, a Magic Drip by Boulevard Brewing Company, where it's so similar to the Bourbon County. Like, this to me is an excellent stout. Would I buy it again? In a heartbeat. Do I have regret that I only bought one can? Yeah, I really do. Now, one last thing I want to say, I would put this in my category of dangerous beers. 9% ABV, relatively light mouthfeel, no alcohol that I can perceive at 9%. There's no burn going down, there's no burn in my stomach. This is very, very good. Definitely a beer I would purchase again if I saw it. Definitely a beer I recommend that if you see, to pick it up. So again, this is Ellicottville Brewing Company St. Jacobs. This is a barrel-aged Imperial Stout coming in at 9% ABV. And quite frankly, if I ever see it again, I will immediately buy it. So, on this channel, I don't really give numerical ratings because I just feel like everybody's tastes are so different. But I have to tell you, like, one rating I will give is, would I buy it again? Absolutely. I would buy it again. I would drink it again. I would enjoy it again. I think it would be an excellent beer, over and over again. Now, I wish, let's see, what's the can date on this? So this was canned on 10/25. I think it's a 24, but it could be a 23. Oh no, it can't be a 24. Duh. So it was canned on 10/25/23. It tastes great. Just now, after 3 or 4 sips, I'm starting to get a little burn in the stomach. But I mean, that's really all you need to know. This is an epic beer, and it's definitely one I would, grab again. And quite frankly, so far, I have not gotten a bad beer from Ellicottville Brewing Company. The only problem for me with them is that they are way across the state. I think it's a 5, 6, 7 hour drive from where I live. So the only time I ever see them is when it's at a Total Wine, which Total Wine does have them by me, or if I'm upstate where they have a little bit more of a distribution. Oh, you know what? I got this at Beer World in Monticello, that's right. So if you get a chance and you see it, this is one where I wouldn't even give it a second thought. I'd buy one at least. Although quite frankly, if it were me, I'd probably just spend the 25 bucks and buy the 4-pack. This is a really, really nice, easy drinking. This sounds so contradictory, but it's a nice, easy drinking barrel-aged stout, which, like this one, being that the mouthfeel is so light, And so, is it refreshing? I don't know. It's so light, it's so easy to drink that I think this could even be a summer stout, even as a barrel-aged stout. So definitely one I would pick up and try again. And you know, Ellicottville Brewing Company, they continue to knock it out of the park. I've had a bunch of different styles of beer that they have put out, and so far, I would recommend them without a second thought. Now, I want to make it clear, I am not sponsored by Ellicottville, although I doubt anybody has gotten this far into the video, but it's definitely one of those brewing companies that I would check out if you see it out there on the shelf. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the review. I will see you next time. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the rest of this one because it is fantastic. If you liked the video, please hit that like button, subscribe, throw a comment down below, and I'll see you next time on End of the Day Beer Review. Cheers.